What is good, YouTube? It's that one camera guy back at it again with another video for you. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Meike 50mm f2.0 full manual focus lens. Now what really makes this lens stand out is the fact that it is less than $100 US. Now if you are looking to get a 50mm lens for your Sony a6000, I highly recommend that you take some consideration and look at this one. Now, in terms of lenses that are options for you, you can consider grabbing the 50mm f1.8 for both full frame or APS-C. Now, you can get the 50mm f1.8 optical steady shot lens, or even this one here for full frame. Now, this one retails for about $200 US, while the APS-C version of that same lens retails for about $250. So if you want to save some money, maybe save about $100, $150, you might want to consider getting this lens. Now what we're going to do today, right now, is I'm going to go outside of the backyard, shoot some photos using manual focus. Now if you are not very comfortable with manual focusing, I actually made a user guide just for that. Now if you watch that guide and you get through it, you're going to find out that shooting in manual focus and manual aperture is very, very easy. Now what we're going to do today is actually look at some of the image quality or the images that I get out of this lens and show you how quick I work when I'm using a manual focus lens. If you're a hobbyist, kind of an amateur enthusiast, I highly recommend jumping on one of these types of lenses if you're looking to get better photos than your actual kit lens. This is really sort of like a beginner's video too, because I am going to be talking about different aperture values and guiding you on the exposure settings that I'm using. Now, for example, this is your kit lens that you typically comes with your Sony a6000. When you zoom this lens to 50mm, it goes to f5.6, which really stinks, which means that you're not going to get good low light performance, or you can't really get that shallow depth of field with control over your aperture. On the other hand, with the 50mm f2, right, it goes all the way from f2 and it has a minimum aperture of f22. So we have a lot of playroom with this particular lens. Now both of them have about, well, between this 50mm and my manual focus 50mm, they have a minimum focusing distance of about 1.5 feet. So they're about the same. This is a little bit faster at f1.8. This one goes to f2.0, but I don't think there's going to be a huge difference. So we're going to go and take a look and take some sample shots right now. Alright, so our first subject right now is right here. There's like this little jump bungee cord right here that's hanging. I'm going to go ahead and take a photo of it, try to get some shallow depth of field. That's my goal for this particular photo. And I'm going to use rule of thirds. So let me go ahead and show you how quickly I set up here. First thing I'm going to do is set my aperture value, because for one, I can't change my focus length. It's going to be, my focal length is going to be 50mm. And I have a minimum focusing distance of about 1.5 feet. So I want to make sure I'm about 1.5 feet from this piece of rope. So then I'm going to go ahead and set my my aperture value to f2 and my minimum focusing distance to the closest distance that I can get it from, because I want to get up close to my subject. Now when I bring it up to my eye, I'm going to notice that it is overexposed. So what I'm going to do is drop my ISO down to 100. It was at 6400 before, because it's really bright outside. It's really hot too. And now I have it in plain sight for me. And I'm going to slowly increase my shutter speed. It was at 250. I'm going to increase it till I get my exposure about to the center. And then what I'm going to do is going to go ahead and slowly move forward and back. So if you notice, I'm just moving back a little bit until I get the subject framed properly. And then I see my focus peaking. Right now I'm seeing my focus peaking show up, and I just take a picture. And that's it. That's how quickly it is to get the actual image. All right, so now we're indoors, we're in the garage. And I'm going to take a photo of two different things that we have in this area in the garage here. We have a ladder, and it has some information, some lettering, which will be good to check the sharpness of the lens. And then we got this little fly ribbon that's hanging up here. So I've got my lens set up. I got my camera turned on. I'm on manual mode. And again, I'm going for shallow depth of field. So I'm going to shoot at f2. So I'm going to go ahead and set my lens to f2 on here. And then my ISO is already set to 100 and my shutter speed is 500 right now. And as I look through it right now, it's completely underexposed. It's very, very dark. So what I'm going to do now is drop my shutter speed to the minimum shutter speed that I need for this particular lens focal length, which is typically 1/50. Now there is a general rule, because it is a crop sensor camera at 1.5, we might want to shoot at 1/100th of a second or 1/80th of a second just to play it safe. So I'm going to go ahead and drop my shutter speed to 1/80th of a second just so that it's a little fast, so that way I don't get any motion shake with my hands. And then it's still underexposed to me when I'm looking through here. Then I'm going to go ahead and increase my ISO. Okay, I'm going to increase my ISO. And it looks to be, my ISO is at 1250, so I went from ISO 100 to 1250. And I'm going to go ahead and brighten up just a tad bit more. And then I'm going to go ahead and set my minimum focusing distance, which is already set. And I'm going to slowly move towards my subject here until I see my focus peaking lines and then take a picture. And that was it. Now we also have this fly ribbon that's above me right here. Same thing, I'm not going to change my settings because we're still in the same environment. I'm going to look at it. I'm just going to get closer and back away until I see my focus peaking lines and take a picture. And that was it. That was pretty quick. Not a problem. Looks sharp to me from here. Could be a little off. I'll do maybe one more photograph, just make sure. There we go. And that's it. That's how we do some shots indoors. Not really complicated. Again, we covered this stuff in the full manual exposure guide, so it's nothing new. So I got some plants down here. We're going to do like an above shot. So what I've done is I've actually set my monitor on my Sony a6000 to sunny brightness. So when you go into your menu system and you go into the last toolkit option, which is the 6th tab, and you go to page 1, change your monitor brightness to sunny weather, especially in this kind of environment right now. I was going to make a Darren Miles joke that we were sunny side Florida, whatever. Anyway, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do a vertical shot of the plants down here, and I'm just going to adjust my settings. I'm at f2 on my lens, and then I'm going to drop my ISO to 100, and then I'm going to go and increase my shutter speed until I get a proper exposure. There we go. And then I'm just going to judge it as best as I can. It's still a bit hard to see like this. And then I can see my focus peaking lines. I'm going to increase my shutter speed a little bit more and take a picture. And then usually what I do is I actually look through here in the EVF to check my image. So there's my photo of the plants down here. All right, now we had this set up right here. I want to kind of get like a rule of thirds kind of deal with the plants that are set up. And let's just go and take a picture. I'm not going to talk too much. Let's just take the photograph. Drop my shutter speed down a little bit. There we go. Play it back so I can see it. Looks good. I might play around with the framing a little bit more. Try to take another photo. And I think that's good. All right, so we got another subject here. It's a subject we use with our 55 to 210 video guide, if you haven't checked that one out already. Settings haven't changed too much. I'm at f2. I got minimum focusing distance sort of set. I'm kind of moving back and forth closer to my subject here. See my focus peaking lines. Adjust my shutter speed a little bit more. Take the picture. That's simple. If I want to back up a little more from my subject, I'll back up, change my minimum focus distance, just adjust my focus so I get 2 different types of shots. It's pretty fast, guys. I'm telling you. All right, we're done with that. The next thing I'm going to take a photo of is right here. It's like these purple kind of flowers. Don't know what I have no idea what they're called. My aperture is still set at f2. Hasn't changed. The only thing I'm adjusting here is my shutter speed and my focus, because my ISO needs to be at 100. We're outside. It's really bright. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm just going to go ahead and adjust my focus. My exposure looks good. Maybe drop my shutter speed a little bit. I got a photo. It was that fast. I can even get a little bit closer to it. You know, adjust my focus, get my minimum focusing distance here, and reframe, just like that. The next subject I have is one of the Ninja Turtles. I don't know which one is it, bro. Which one is it?
Michelangelo.
Okay, so we have
Might have been Raphael.
So we have Michelangelo or Raphael. I think it might be Raphael. Anyway, he's missing an arm. So we're going to take a quick picture of him. Again, f2 on my lens. Again, really fast. And then my shutter speed is the only thing I'm going to adjust. And my ISO is going to stay the same. Adjust my focal length. I'm going to get eye level with my subject. And the floor is lava, guys. It's really hot. And that's it. I got a photo of one of the turtles. It was that simple. And that's it. All right, so we're kind of in the shade. We got some more plants and stuff down here. Not sure what they are, but I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of the flower right here. So I have the 50mm lens. Again, I'm going to be at f2, minimum focusing distance, and I'll adjust my shutter speed if need be on here on the subject. And that's it. That's pretty much it for the photo. As you can see, there's a lot of, definitely good control over the shallow depth of field. I know what you're thinking in your mind. Why is he always shooting wide open? It's because I can. But you can shoot at f8. So let's just try real quick. I'm going to go to f8. I'll have to change my shutter speed because obviously the exposure is darker now. And I'm going to go ahead and increase my ISO because I'm shooting at f8 here, but let's just see what it looks like. And when you compare the two photos, you can definitely see a big difference in the out of focus areas on the actual image. And I'll do another one here. I'm going to jump back to f2. And I'm definitely going to use the back of the screen here. Okay, so let me adjust my settings, drop my ISO to 100. And I'll have to back up because I need to be about 2.5 feet away for the photo. And then I'm minimum focusing distance. Still a little overexposed. There it is. Then I'm going to go ahead and crank it up to f8 and show you the difference of what it looks like at f8. So there you go. That's from f2 to f8. The power that you get out of this lens over your kit lens. Well, there you go. That is my little take on the 50mm Meike f2.0 manual focus, manual aperture lens. Typically, I work a little bit faster when I was shooting outdoors. I was definitely trying to take my time to explain the exposure settings, but usually if I'm not having to talk and I'm having to just adjust the settings and have fun and enjoy shooting, it's usually pretty easy. Something I really do enjoy about manual focus, manual aperture lenses is just the joy of having a slight mechanical control over your entire shooting experience. And it just gives you some it gives you a little bit more satisfaction, I guess is the best way to put it. When you nail a photo, you get the exposure down, and you're able to do it really quick. But that's the way I see it as far as manual focus lenses go. So with regards to the Meike 50mm f2.0 lens, it is a great bargain, sub $100 lens. Meike also manufactures a couple other ones, like the 35 f1.7 and even the 28 f2.8 that I recommend you take a look at as well, if 50mm is not what you're after. Will you consider that an autofocus lens over this one? The only reason I would recommend an autofocus lens like this one here, the 50mm f1.8 over the manual focus prime, is if you really need fast autofocus, like you don't have time to set up a shot. If you feel like you have to get the shot quick every single time, then definitely go ahead and grab the autofocus lens. But if you want to be casual with your photography, taking your time, shooting wide open, looks pretty good in my eye, then definitely take a look at the Meike 50mm f2.0. Links for all the products that are mentioned in this video are in the description below. If you decide to use it and make a purchase, I get a little kickback from the work that went into producing this video, and I can tell you it was very hot and my camera guy was sweating outdoors as well. It was almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit out there while we were shooting. Again, check out my links in the description below. Leave a comment if you have a question. Subscribe, give the video a like. I'd really appreciate it. And with that said, I'm your host, That One Camera Guy, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.